I am from the Attorney General's office. I've been with the Attorney General's office for 2.5 years now. And my job is to travel around Arizona and give presentations to the kids, basically kinder through high school, and do the parents as well. With kids, you give them a cell phone, it takes them less than 5 minutes to figure it out. For us, it might take us a couple of days to figure it out. Why? Because kids are growing up with technology, and us adults, we're learning about it. I mean, I could play the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo because I grew up with it, but the kids beat me out the PlayStation 3, the Xbox, and stuff like that. And you're like, how in the world are you doing this? They just, real quick. But today I'm going to talk about 3 different things. I'm going to talk about sexting, cyber predation, and cyberbullying. This presentation is very similar to what I give sometimes 5th graders, usually 6th through high school. The information is general information, and it's not to scare you or to scare the kids, but it's to protect not only our identity, but to protect the kids from being victims of a cyber predator. So this little cartoon here, you know, kids nowadays, you ask them, what are you doing? Nothing. Who are you talking to? Nobody. They tend to hide stuff. And I thought this was pretty funny because technology is something that we're so used to. If it's taken away from us, we start panicking. So, again, I am from the Attorney General's office, and what are the kids posting online? That's the one big question. If I refer to the kids a lot, I'm sorry, I'll say the kids. But as we use the internet, any type of internet, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, Farmville, Skype, whatever, you name it, you're using the World Wide Web. You have to type in www dot whatever, whatever, or XXX or whatever. And I tell the kids, once you hit send, submit, post, reply, you tweet, it gets sent to the World Wide Web. Now with the game consoles like these, kids can actually talk to people. They use this little headset, and they can play and challenge anybody in China and Brazil and on Antarctica. That's fine. But as I'll show you, cyber predators are using games like the Xbox, Skype, Facebook, even Call of Duty to try and groom them. Okay. But as I talk to the kids, they're like, ooh, I recognize Farmville. And they start going, ooh, ooh. These are some of the popular games that we see kids playing or using. I mean, we can use Skype and talk to our family members across the nation. We can be on Facebook and be friends with people we haven't seen in 20, 30 years. Technology has changed our life. And there's wonderful things about the internet. But we all know there's bad things too. Sexting, the first one. It's sending sexual messages, pictures, or videos through cell phones and any other form of electronic device. I tell the kids, well, if you're sending a picture that you wouldn't show to your parents, why would you send it? If they're not going to stand in front of the classroom naked, why would you go to the bathroom, to the bedroom, or to the locker room and do it? It's going to get out eventually. In less than 3 seconds, one image can be sent to other computers and other cell phones. I can print this slide and make a copy for everybody in here. I could scan it, make it bigger. If I had enough money, I can make it into a billboard. It's really not that big of a problem. And the message here is basically, yeah, it gets out within 3 seconds. We all get that text message saying, congratulations, you're a winner of $1 million, or congratulations, you qualify for a $1,000 loan, or something like that on our texts, or on our cell phones. And emails too. We know it's a scam, but just how those text messages are received, somebody can get the child's picture. I'm going to show two videos. As the videos show, the little girl's name is Sarah, and she's 12 years old. I tell the kids, you have an option. You always have a choice, an option to say no. Now Sarah goes into her bedroom and takes a couple of pictures.
I'm sorry. You forget? No, I'm sneaking out. It's too early. Are you? 9 o'clock the party. 9:15.
I asked the kids, should she show the picture? And they're like, no. Okay. But you don't longer have a choice.
Yeah, what up, Whoa! Oh man! Yo, send that to me real quick. I'm not gonna. Come on, send that to me.
Should he pass it on? I asked the kids. They're like, no. Well, the decision is out of your hands now.
Man, you a pimp.
Yo, you blow that full screen. Look at that, boys. Check that out, boys. I had to send this to Mark.
Send that out now.
The little brother got it the next day. And I tell the kids, what if your little brother or your little sister got the picture you were trying to send to your boyfriend or your girlfriend? Or your mom the next day? Or the next week? Or a cyber predator looking for child pornography? That one image got out of hand. But once it's sent, we don't have no control of what's going to happen to it. So this is what happens to Sarah.
Hey, Sarah.
Oh my God, she's so cute.
Been doing like I taught you. Love the new tattoo, Sarah.
Dude, that's Sarah. Who's the girl in the pink shirt. That's the girl I was telling you about.
Peter, 2 on your left. Hey, Sarah. What color underwear today?
Hey, Sarah. So when are you going to post something new?
Anything you post online, anyone can see. So think before you post.
Well, as I talk to the kids, I tell them, you know, there's appropriate things to do. If you want to go and put pictures on your Facebook when you're in your bikini or in your underwear, there's a time and a place to do it. At the pool, at the lake, or at the beach. In the bedroom, the bathroom, or the locker room is totally inappropriate. And it could be considered child pornography. The way the child is posed in a picture could be considered child pornography. If the picture is provocative and in their underwear, again, it can be considered child pornography. And I tell them, you know, do you want to be registered as a sex offender? Whether it's a female or a male doing this, they could be registered as a sex offender. Level 1. The minimum sentence right now, if a child gets caught sexting, is 30 days in juvenile. Minimum sentence. And sometimes they say, well, what if the girl sent me a text? Do I get in trouble too? If you don't report it, yeah, that could be part of it. I want you guys to remember this image. Because just how you get those text messages, or a forward, we can see who the original sender is. And from here, this one went this way and that way and so on and so forth. In real life, we can't see these lines. But virtually, they exist. If there ever was to be an investigation, this is what it would look like. So if this person didn't say anything and was part of it, then they get in trouble too. because they're all sending that same picture, that same text. So a lot of the times this is where it gets difficult, where it has to get turned into the police so they can do the investigation. The child might say, well, I was just trying to impress my boyfriend or girlfriend. Okay. Well, again, if they got caught, they could get arrested for producing child pornography or obtaining it. They didn't ask for the image, someone sent it to them. They can tell us till they turn blue in the face. But if we were to go through their cell phone and see that they had an image or a text message that requested they were asking for it, then that's a problem. They didn't forward it and deleted the image. Great. That's what they're supposed to do. But if it comes to be a huge problem where somebody says, no, I did receive it from them, we can get a computer expert to go through the cell phone or through the computer. Every computer, every cell phone has an ISPN number and a hard drive. A kid once told me, what if I burn my cell phone? What if I break my cell phone? What then? Can they still get my images? You bet they can. Technology is so far advanced, they can actually rebuild the hard drive now. So, as I'm talking to the kids, I emphasize to them, if you see something like this happening, make it stop. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And I know it's difficult for the kids to come and talk to you. And I tell the kids, don't be afraid, because your parents are there to protect you. If this is something that happens to them, I encourage them to go talk to you. Because if it gets further, if there was to be a huge investigation and they never said anything and they were part of it, they get in trouble too. And I remind them that whatever they do, to not forward the image, because they're part of it. They become part of that, and they become part of that investigation, if there ever was to be one. And I've had kids tell me, well, what if I accidentally forward the image? You don't accidentally forward something, I tell them. Because if you're going to forward an image, you actually have to make sure you're going to send it to the particular person and then attach the image. So you know what you're doing, I tell them. But they always try to come up with a response where I'm like, wait, what did you say? No, that is possible. It's interesting how a little girl has one told me, she's like, what if I was too embarrassed to show my mom in person, but I wanted to forward the image to her on her cell phone? That was a very interesting question, I told her. But I told her, if it comes to the point where your mom or dad are on a business trip, first of all, call them up and tell them that you're going to send them the image. Second of all, you better make sure that on the text message where you're sending the image, tell them, please show this to the principal to have it stop. Because if that doesn't occur, then they can get you in trouble too. Okay? Because if it's the image, it could be considered a child pornography. The image, if it's coming from an adult to a child, meaning 18 and under, or some would consider 17 and under, for an adult, it would be considered a felony if those images or text messages are coming back and forth. So that's something else to think about. And yes, any image can be made into a billboard, because it's easy to copy and print. We've all done it before. We've all seen this on national TV. Now, these men were helping run our country. They thought it's not a big deal. They were sexting other women. And I tell the kids, these were adults. They got caught sexting. They lost their jobs. Their career is in jeopardy. Now, if they're looking for a job, you Google their name and the first thing that comes up, sexting. And I ask the kids, do you think anybody's going to want to hire them? They all respond, no. Do you think anybody respects them now? They say no. So now I tell them, okay, you're not an adult, but you're a teenager. And if you send a naked picture to somebody and you're applying for a job someday and your picture comes up, Do you think somebody's going to respect you for putting an image out there like that? And then you can see that they're thinking, whoa, she has a point. Okay. So, again, sexting is against the law. And unfortunately, a lot of it goes unseen. It gets deleted on the cell phones, and the chances of a child getting caught right now are slim to none, because a lot of it goes unsaid. But if there was to be a cell phone on the counter and you go through it and there's something, it's best to talk to that child. Cyberpredation, also known as grooming or solicitation. This is one of the scarier ones. Why? Because growing up, you teach your child stranger danger. Be careful. If somebody's trying to offer you something, run away, walk away, yell, call 911. That's pretty easy. And you tell them, if you're at a grocery store, walk away. Don't talk to strangers. Well, cyberpredation is basically the same thing, stranger danger online. Somebody might want to hurt you financially or physically, and cyber predators will use games and social network sites to target, to solicit, to groom the kids. I work with investigators, and within 7 minutes of them playing Grand Theft Auto, Black Ops, and Wizard or World of Warcraft, one of them got an offer to a trip to Florida. Another one got an offer to meet someone at the park for $1,000. Today I gave 5 presentations to 7th and 8th graders. And in every class I asked them, raise your hand and if any of you guys have ever had someone offer you money, a new game, shoes, or something else. And you will see, if there's a class of 50 students, you'll see at least 30 kids raise their hand. And it's happening, whether it's through a chat room, whether it's through Facebook, whether it's through a game console. On Facebook, you can pretty much put a thumbs up on anything you can think of. And kids tend to add stuff like this. And I tell the kids, what if I told you I spoke to Justin Bieber today? They're like, yeah, right. Well, what if Justin Bieber, I called that number and I spoke to him and he told me that he can meet me at a park? I'm like, does Justin Bieber have enough time to be talking to anybody on the phone? No. Well, does a cyber predator have time to do that? Yes. What if Katy Perry is putting a thumbs up on your wall or picture or commenting on your wall and picture? Does she have enough time to do that? The kids will respond, no. But does a cyber predator have time? Yeah. When the kids go on a field trip or a big event, you as parents emphasize to them, be careful, don't wander off, stay with your group. The teachers say the same stuff. Stay close together. If you're going to go to the bathroom, let us know. Take a buddy with you. At these types of events, yes, there's hundreds and thousands of people, there's security guards, but unfortunately there has been incidents where kids get kidnapped because predators are looking for these types of events where there's kids wandering around. Okay? So I tell the kids, listen to your parents. Listen to your teachers because they want to protect you. Adding a celebrity, an author, an athlete online, you get 50 to 100 profiles. If I type in Michael Jordan, Shania Twain, Eminem, you name it, any celebrity or athlete or whatever, you get 50 to 100 profiles. Which one's the real one? We don't know. But a predator, this is what a predator does. A predator will go onto a page like this. This little girl says, I love you, Robbie. And a lot of teens will go on to their favorite celebrities or athletes and post stuff like this. I'm your #1 fan, or something along those lines. And they think, oh my gosh, it's cool, whatever, I'm friends with them. Okay. Well, we all know that this is a fan page. And a lot of them are fan pages. But the predator liked this girl's pictures. Okay, that's just pictures. That's her information. A lot of the kids have no privacy settings, whether it's Facebook or the social network they're using. On this particular page, this little girl has a link to her sister's page, email address, cell phone, home address, and a MySpace website. She says she goes to Central High School in Phoenix. What else can we find out? She likes Futurama, Scrubs, House, a whole bunch of information. So, that's not too bad. Well, it is. The predator might go to the sister's page. We see the full name, the full birthday, a link to the other sister's page, mom's full name, email address. Here in Arizona, we are #2 on identity theft. And some of the information, if nobody has privacy settings, they can access it this way. So next time you go grocery shopping, whether you go to Fry's, Safeway, Food City, Trader Joe's, whatever you go, the predator might already know what your name is, what you look like, what your daughter's name is, what she looks like, what your other daughter's name is, and what she looks like too. Because your children are tagging you on your pictures. You can put Facebook or pictures on Facebook, but as soon as you start tagging people, you're giving identifications. So we can go on to public records. And on public records, we can type in the name, the address, and phone number, because that is information that the little girls gave us. The father was not once mentioned on Facebook, nor was he tagged on any pictures. Yet now we have the father's name. And as we all see, this is the deed of trust. This is a document that is on public records, but in order to obtain it, you need the name, the address, and the phone number. And I tell the kids, this is not information you give out to any stranger at a grocery store at the park, but you're putting it on Facebook. And I emphasize to them, it's not only about protecting themselves, but protecting the family. We can all Google something, Bing it, Yahoo it, AOL it, whatever search engine is used, and we get a map, a simple map. A predator can be doing this 100, 1,000 miles away, but they can also view this. And a predator thinks this way. They'll think, okay, how many neighbors do they have? Are there any parks nearby, any open fields? How can they blend into this neighborhood? A thief might think the same way. Well, again, they can be doing this 100, 1,000 miles away. But if they decide to drive to Peoria, then they can decide, okay, I'm going to drive around this neighborhood, find out who drives what car, who comes in and out of the house, and is a kid ever left home alone? Or if this was a thief, they can say, okay, when those 3 cars are not there, I can go steal the TV, the computer, the jewelry, the piggy bank, whatever is any values at home. Sometimes kids end up posting on other people's walls. You might tell your kids, you know, change your privacy settings, put only just your friends. Great. The thing is, if they're posting on somebody else's wall, like let's say they're going to have a dinner party or a get-together, and they're putting your address or your phone number on somebody else's wall, then that's where it becomes a problem. Because your kids might be doing the correct thing on setting high privacy settings, but their friends may not. So with cell phones, a lot of kids tend to do this. And you're like, what are you doing? Nothing. Who are you texting? Nobody. And you're like, okay, Sorry. So if kids are putting their phone number on their friend's wall because their friend just got a number, I would encourage for you to tell them to make sure to call them up and verify it's their number. Because if a predator is looking at this, they can pretend to be your son or daughter's friend and say, yeah, this is Kimmy. And it's really not Kimmy. It's a predator. So tell your kids, if your friend just got a new number, please call them up and verify it's them. Or if they're going to have a get-together, do not put your information on somebody else's wall. Send them an inbox, call them up, or give them an invitation, old-fashioned way. Foursquare or checked in. Or now even you can log on to Facebook and you can say who you're with and where you're at. I look at this on my friends' Facebook's walls and I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, who cares? Really, I don't need to know what you're doing, where you're at, and all that. But kids tend to love this type of stuff. Here, this person says they're going to Fry's Electronics at 3:57, Arizona Mills Mall, 4:25, Applebee's, 6:54. Problem with the first one. Okay. So with two others at Fry's Electronics. So he's probably saying that he's at Fry's Electronics with the parents. Let's say you were buying a computer, and it doesn't take 5 minutes to buy a computer. It takes about half an hour or more after you look at it, you like the style, etc., etc. So while you're looking at the computers, your child goes to the video game section. Because they placed that they're at Fry's Electronics, again, the predator might already know what you look like, what your name is, what your child looks like, and what their name is. So if they see you by the computer section and your child's at the video game section, that's a bad sign for the predator to go get them. If they're putting, hey, we're at Fry's Electronics. Arizona Mills Mall or any mall. Let's say you're like, the kids go with the friends or with you, doesn't matter. Let's say you're going on to Macy's and your daughter or son decides to go to Tilly's and you're like, okay, I'll see you in 15 minutes. If the child is saying, I'm going to be at the mall, it's giving time frames for predators to go target them. Applebee's with the whole family tonight. Yay! Well, if they're posting something like that, or if you're posting something like that, you're basically telling thieves, hey, my house is empty, go steal it. Okay? You're giving people the opportunity to find out where you're at, what you're doing, but there's better ways to do that. I tell the kids, if you want to brag about something, go ahead, brag about it, but be smart about it. I can say, can't wait to go running. I can say, can't wait to go get my nails done. Had a great time in New York. I can say, can't wait to go to Disneyland. My shoes are so comfortable, I bought them last week. Not at one point did I say, I'm going to go running at 8 p.m. I'm going to be at the airport on Saturday morning. I didn't give that information. I can still brag about anything. But if you're giving people time frames, then that gives people opportunities to go either steal your house or for your child to be a victim. So, yeah, Foursquare checked in, saying who you are, where you're at, and who you're with. It's dangerous. With game consoles, okay, we have games where someone might say, I'm going to eliminate you, I'm going to shoot you, I'm going to kill you. Okay, fine. That's part of the game. We have games like this, where they have to pick and choose what they have to say. Great. There's games like this, where kids will start chatting with other players, and now they have headsets where kids can actually talk and listen to other people's conversations. One of the biggest problems with the headsets is that a lot of inappropriate stuff is being said, even being done in the backgrounds. Okay? yes, it's just a game, but while the child is playing and someone gets really mad because we have a lot of older people playing this game and they're being beat on the game by a 12, 13-year-old, the adults get really mad and they start cussing and they get really upset and they start making threats. I tell the kids, I play this game and my name is Timbuktu. And somebody has asked me, where do you live? I'll say on the moon. It doesn't matter because it's just a game. On this screen alone, there are about 15 other players. And I emphasize to the kids, don't tell me that you can only play against one person on this screen. Don't tell me that you only have one person to challenge, because that's a lie. I can say, okay, this person's from China, this person's from Brazil, this person over here is from Italy, this one's from Australia. It doesn't matter who you're playing, but it matters what they're saying to you or what they're saying to the child. As soon as somebody starts asking them for their name, their phone number, where they go to school, how old they are, any of that information, that is personal information. And this is the type of game where the kids will get solicitations. They'll get offers, money, shoes. And unfortunately, it has come down to people asking for virginities. There's been cases where predators are offering $5,000. And it's scary. It's scary because a lot of the times we think, oh, it's just a game. What harm can be done? A lot. Because if the predator is starting to groom them, they might just start with something simple. Hey, what do you like? What type of games do you like? They'll start real slow. But then because the kids are answering, they're playing and they're not paying attention, it'll get to the next level. So this is the type of stuff where we have to pay attention and emphasize to the child that they can play and challenge whoever they want in the entire world, in the entire internet. But as soon as somebody starts asking them for their personal information, they need to quit. They need to challenge any of the other 12 players on that same screen. Okay? Again, it's not only to protect themselves, but to protect you. Because once they start saying, yeah, I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and start going on and on and on about the address and how old they are, and how old is mom, how old is dad, stuff like that, questions are asked. I go to schools all over Arizona, and I ask the kids, how many friends do you have? And I'll jump around. And some will say, I have 300 friends. And then somebody will say, I have 350. It's like, wait a minute, what? What did you say? Okay, I asked them, do you have those 350 people on your phone contact? No. And then somebody else who said 350, I'll go, okay, have you shaken those 350 hands? No. Okay. So adding random people can be a very, very big problem. I tell them, okay, would you add Brian if I told you had 5 mutual friends with him? And they're like, yeah, no, kind of. They kind of get a weird response. I tell them, okay, what if Brian sent you a private message saying, you're cute, you're hot. You want me to send you some flowers? What's your address? That's how it starts. This here, Brian, he says he's going to Camelback High School, lives in Glendale, and he's going to send flowers to his girlfriend, going to go to Jamba Juice, Harry Potter, all this other weird stuff. And I asked the kids, would you add him? Because he has a pretty cool fluffy cat and a fluffy afro. And they're like, yeah. And then some like, oh. The responses are kind of weird. But I emphasize again to them, okay, well, if you've never shaken hands with Brian or you don't have his phone number, why would you add him? Because this is real. This is who Brian really is. Anybody can create a fake profile and pretend to be someone they're not. Anybody Could be a female or a male. And Brian is not in high school. He's 33, and he's a level 3 high-risk sex offender. And again, it's scary because we think, oh, you know, it's just a game. It's not a big deal. Well, stranger danger. Yep, that's what it is, online. Okay. You guys can always go on to maricopa.gov and type in the zip code, and you can see the sex offenders in your area. But yes, even when somebody creates a fake profile, this is the type of stuff that we see. Okay, the grooming, the solicitation. Cyberbullying. It's probably the toughest one. It's very difficult to deal with. It's when the internet, cell phones, or other devices are used to send, post, text, and/or images intended to hurt or embarrass another person. It basically narrows down to making fun of, harassing, or threatening somebody online. And as I talk to the kids, they tend to, as you watch the videos, they tend to laugh at the first one. But I'll show you first.
Today I'm going to talk about Patty. Patty's best characteristics, she's stupid. Stupid and ugly. Everything she does is ugly. Watch her eating. Watch her stuff her face. Look at her. Greasy hair, dirty fingernails. It makes me want to vomit. Get a life, Patty. Thank you.
So I tell the kids, you wouldn't come up here and do that. But it's so easy to just send a text or put it on Facebook, and it's not a big deal. It's like, whatever. And I emphasize to them that sometimes when they send something, they don't care what that person's going through. They don't know if the only meal they have is at school, or if their parents are going through a divorce, their grandma or grandpa just died. Sometimes kids end up doing stuff just because everybody else is doing it. And they end up hurting someone a lot closer to them than they think. The second one.
I heard about a lot of things my friends were doing online that were really mean or just plain crazy. I never thought I would do anything like that. One day my friend Pat showed me a website he made. He posted a list of girls in our school and had guys we know go on and rate them. Sort of a hot or not kind of website. I thought it was pretty funny, so I rated them too. We had a good laugh, and I thought that was the end of it. The next day, everyone at school was talking about it. He had sent it out to the whole school to see. I could tell a couple of girls had been crying, and I knew it was because of what the guys had said about them and how they looked. I felt bad, but I didn't really get it until I went home that night. Turns out, the guys had put my little sister on the site too, but hid it from me because they knew I would get upset. She was crying when I got home, and she wouldn't even look at me. I would never have said those things to someone's face. I didn't even mean them. I thought it was just a joke between friends. Now Pat's suspended from school, and they might kick me out too. Once you put something online, you lose control of it. You can never get it back, and people can use it in ways you never even meant. I learned that the hard way. I wish I never saw that stupid site.
So I tell the kids, you know, you end up hurting someone much closer to you than you think. And you really don't think it's a big deal, but it is. Because a cut, a bruise, and a bloody nose goes away. Next one. There you go. Yep. Goes away in a day or two. But if this was sent right after school, and let's say your child had chess practice, and then they had football practice, and then you went grocery shopping, and they did their homework, and then they logged on to Facebook at like 9 o'clock at night. And they saw this on their wall. They got home, they deleted it, that's fine. But between 3:30 and 9 o'clock, all their friends have already seen it. This is where we see that the kid doesn't want to come to school. They fake a tummy ache. They fake a headache. So you start wondering, okay, well, what's wrong? Is it a virus? You take them to the doctor. The doctor says they're perfectly fine. So then, they still say, I don't feel so good. I don't think I should go to school. They start making up something in order for them not to come to school. So then you're like, it's probably someone bullying them around, somebody making fun of them. So of course you come to the school, you try and talk to the principal, you try and talk to the teachers, and they're like, they're fine, they're participating, we don't see anything wrong with them. And as a parent, you feel that there's something wrong, but you can't figure it out. Because it's not a cut, it's not a bruise, it's not a bloody nose, but it's something that was posted on their wall. It's something that they got through a text. They deleted it, but it still stays with them emotionally. And they're scared to come to school. They're afraid that they're going to continue getting harassed or bullied at school because of whatever was posted or sent to them. Like these kids. They brought a gun to school. A kid saw it. He told the teacher. They got suspended. They went home and started saying, he's a snitch, we're going to kill him, we're going to slit his throat, and all this other bad stuff. The kid who was, who told, he did a really good thing. Who knows what they could have done with the gun at school? But they started posting that they were going to kill him, that they were going to shoot him and all this other stuff. The kid was threatened to come to school. He was afraid to come to school because of what they posted online. Yes, there was an investigation. When they got interrogated, their response was, oh, we were just kidding. It was just a joke. We were just like, whatever. That's what their attitude was. And as I tell the kids about this story, I tell them, would it be a joke to put handcuffs on you? Would it be a joke to say, oh, we're just kidding, you just have to stay in jail for 30 days? And then they get really quiet. And they start thinking, I can see that their thoughts change. These girls were cutting and pasting a picture of her classmate and putting it onto naked pictures and animal bodies. The whole school knew about it, but nobody knew who created the blog. Yet, the girl who was the victim, she didn't want to come to school. She was being harassed and made fun of online. So when the investigators or the computer experts got onto the blog, they traced it back to these two girls' computer. That one image I told you guys to remember with the lines from one cell phone to the other. That's how they traced it back to these two girls' computers. Again, we can't see those lines in real life, but they virtually exist because every computer and every cell phone has an IPN address. So all the kids that you just saw, these cases were in Florida, but they are in jail now. So these type of cases, those are cyberbullying. This is what we see as cyberbullying as well. Someone drawing on someone's face, making comments, and then a whole bunch of other people joining. As I present this slide to the kids, I tell them, okay, what if this was you? Would you like it? And they're like, no. Okay. This is cyberbullying. But let's say they were applying for a scholarship or for a job 4 or 5 years from now. Or 2, because they're in high school. And to get a job or to get a scholarship, they got to fill up an application. Real easy, real simple. Okay. Let's say they were applying for a $5,000 scholarship. They were in chess, they were in football, they did well academically, they volunteered at the hospital, they were on the principal's list, all this great stuff. And so the judges or the employees are having a difficult time who really deserves a scholarship or that job position. So they go online. They Google the name, they Yahoo it, whatever search engine they use. And they saw, you know, they helped win the high school state chess championship, and then the state football championship, and then they volunteered at the hospital, principal's list from 6th grade all the way through high school. Great. But then this came up. I tell them, the fact that you added yourself to this group can affect your future. Even if it was posted when they were in 4th grade, if it was posted when they were in 8th grade, or when they were a junior in high school. Something that they post now can affect their future. Yeah, a lot of this stuff can be deleted, and it won't pop up on the search engine right away. But if someone was to do a thorough background check, all this is going to come up because it's on the World Wide Web. It was submitted in cyberspace. So, again, I emphasize to them for them to think before they post because it can affect their future. This is the last case. This is Megan. Megan committed suicide because of cyberbullying. Because of Megan, we now have cyberbullying laws. Megan was just an average kid. She wanted to go to school, graduate early from high school. There was a couple girls at school that would make fun of her, push her and shove her against the lockers. One of the girls was named Stacy. They would make fun of her, and Megan didn't really care. She kind of brushed them off, be like, I don't care, I'm going to graduate early from high school, whatever. So she would go home and play online games and chat with her best friend named Jeff. She never met Jeff. She never spoke to him on the phone. He lived in a different district, though. For about 6 or 7 months, you know, she told Jeff everything. If your child goes home, you ask them, how was your day? Good. What'd you do? Nothing. What'd you eat? Tacos. What'd you learn? Nothing. That's how they respond sometimes. Unless you really ask them questions, then they start answering. But Megan was the same. Parents ask her, how was your day? Same thing. Good, nothing, But if she get online with Jeff, she'd tell him everything. Mom and dad are fighting again. My brother is so annoying. So-and-so at school is ugly. So-and-so at school is hot. Blah, 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 blah. She'd go on and on and on. And one day, Jeff turned on her. He started saying, I hate you. You're ugly. You don't deserve to live. You're stupid. You're ugly. All this other nasty stuff. And because she trusted him, because she fell for him, it was her best friend, she committed suicide because of what he said. And I'm going to show you guys a picture of Jeff. Lori thought it would be funny to create a fake profile of a 14-year-old boy named Jeff. She thought it would be funny to find out why Stacy hated Megan so much. She didn't think it was a big deal to copy and paste a couple of pictures, create a fake profile, and be friends with Megan. Yet, because of the stuff that was said by Lori to Megan, Megan committed suicide. Unfortunately, this case is still ongoing, and Lori is not in jail because there was other moms involved. And you guys can look up this case, it's still ongoing. And the problem with this, again, now because of Megan, as of 2006, we have cyberbullying laws. And unfortunately, we have seen more and more cases where kids have committed suicide and taken their lives. Sometimes, I mean, the bigger cases, which we're going to try and talk about now, is if the kid is bisexual or gay or whatever, we're seeing a lot more cases like that. People make fun of each other online and they think it's not a big deal. Oh, we were just kidding. I tell the kids, we were just kidding. It was just a joke. It's not in our vocabulary no more. because we don't know how that person's going to react. We don't know if this was for real. Any threats, any making fun of, any harassing online is going to be taken serious. So I tell them, and I tell you now, it's not, don't go on Facebook, don't play online games. No, don't do it. It's fine. Why? Because we're part of technology now. We use technology kind of like our second hand. And it's okay. But the thing is, we have to learn how to make sure to protect ourselves. Not only from cyber predators, but from cyber bullies. And the three things, sexting, cyber predation, and cyberbullying, all three are on the World Wide Web. When somebody hits send, submit, enter, reply, tweet, whatever, it's on the World Wide Web. I emphasize to the kids that once you post it, that's it. You have no control of what's going to happen to it. So, thank you for having me. Does anybody have any questions?